Hey everybody, this is Ryan with Ray's Latest, and let's just jump straight into this here. Got a couple things I want to talk about that I've seen recently pop up on some forums. The first thing is Brandon Lau. I know he's on his contract extension year for him to get re-signed on his club option. He's due about $11.5 million this year. And if he doesn't sign, the Rays do have to pay the $500,000 buyout with him there. And he had a career year this year. It's his best performance since 2021, in my opinion. He hit 31 homers, which was most among second basemen, along with Jazz Chisholm. And he played in 134 games, which, if you know Brandon Lau, that's almost impossible. I feel like you can't get that guy off the IL ever. And he was only on the stint for one 15-day IL stint where he missed those games there for that. And then he had a 20-game hitting streak. It was an all-star. So it's one of those things where if you get the money from the new ownership to have multiple 12 to $15 million guys on your roster, that's a no-brainer of a pickup. He's an older guy who can help Carson Williams Jr. and Aranda in the clubhouse. He's been around the league for a while. I think it's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to pick that $11.5 million contract option up. And that kind of leads into another guy that we're seeing is Fairbanks as well. He is on a $11 million club option for this year, but his is a $1 million buyout. So it's a little bit more of a risk financially wise for not giving him that club option and letting him go elsewhere. But I think at the end of the day, again, he had another career year. He had a career high 27 saves. He did blow 5 saves this year, which in retrospect, for the 60 and a third innings that he pitched in 61 games, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, if you give that guy 61 games, you'd say probably 32 of them are save opportunities or hold opportunities, and you get 27 saves and 5 blown. From your closer that you're given $12 million a year, that's not ideal. 5 blown saves really isn't what you're looking for, but with his stuff and his continued progression every single year, I think that $11 million contract extension is also another no-brainer. I think you can't let him walk for only that short amount of money because another team is going to pay him more. And if you have the leverage to where it's all up to Neander and the ownership to pick it up. If you don't pick it up, he walks. But you have all the control. You pick it up, he stays. He can't do anything about it. It's a club option. He's under contract for another year. And I think that's just something you have to do, especially coming off a career year. He did have a heavy workload this year, but he didn't have any major IL stints, or he didn't have any IL stints actually for the first time in his career. So it's one of those things you see building these two players, Lau and Fairbanks, building year over year. They've been in the organization since their careers began, and I know Lau's publicly stated that he wants to play the rest of his career in Tampa. So I think that giving those guys, especially for this low amount of money, I think both of these guys are worth more than what their contracts are on right now, and I think anybody else would agree. And I think it's just two guys you have to pick up. And a lot of other things I've kind of been seeing more retrospect to today. I saw Matt Mangum is in trade talks, or he's in trade rumors to go into the Mets. That's something that I wouldn't want to see happen, considering we do have a really, really high, a lot of people in our outfield room. With you have Simpson, you have Mangum, you have Lowe. You got a bunch of people that he's competing with, and you kind of saw that kind of in the middle of the season where he kind of just got in that little limbo phase to where you don't know if he's playing every day. You can't play him every day. You have Christopher Morel as well still on the team. I mean, in his rookie year, he hit 296, OPS plus of 96, which is a little bit under what you want to see in a league average standpoint, but he's not really a power guy anyways. He only hit 3 homers. He did have 18 doubles, but if you put him and Simpson in the outfield, they're both going to hit 300. They're both going to get on base. You put them 1 and 2 in the lineup, they're on base. You have Caminero, you have Aranda, you have Diaz. they're going to get RBIs. And if you have Simpson and Mangum hitting in front of Caminero, Caminero is going to lead the league in RBIs. He's going to have more RBIs than Judge because those guys are on base half of the time. They're on base. Mangum's on base percentage this year was 368. So it's 36 out of 100 ABs you're on base, and then you have Junior, who's an RBI machine and home run machine right behind you. You're gonna level that guy's stats up as long with yourselves. You're not gonna have people pitching around you because you're not gonna want to get to the other end. You don't want to have to get to Caminero. You want to stick with the guy that you're facing there, especially when he's not a home run threat. But you're going to see his average shoot up. You're going to see his on base percentage shoot up because he is a great bat to ball hitter. He rarely strikes out. He's along with Simpson. I mean, those guys just don't get out. They're on base every single game. He had 428 plate appearances this year, and you hit 296 as a rookie. It's I can see why maybe they're in speculation with trading him. Because you could get a decent haul for him. I think you could get some good bullpen arms. You could get another middle infielder, maybe another corner infielder, or ideally a catcher. But I think it's just one of those things where you invested in this guy for so long, and he finally made his debut, and he was nails for you. I think it wouldn't be fair enough to Mangum to get rid of him after proving what he can do, especially with him being on his rookie contract. You're not paying him anything, and if you can have a guy on a rookie contract hitting 300, why would you get rid of him? Especially when you have Morel and Josh Lowe, who are hit or miss. They'll hit you 25 homers, but they strike out 2/3 of the time and will end up hitting 220. So it's one of those things where, do you want to invest in him early and keep him on the roster, or do you want to get him out early before he maybe either hits a tumble and kind of that sophomore year slump that we see from a lot of these guys where his trade values dropped a lot? So that's another one of those things where it's hit or miss. I would love to see him stay, but I would also be really curious to see what kind of trade package we could get for a guy like him. I do think Simpson is one of those guys where you can't get rid of him. He's just too electric. He's stealing bases. He's always on base. He needs to really figure it out in the outfield, which I think is just going to take him time. I would love to see him playing center field on an everyday basis, but you just can't put him out there right now because he's such a defensive liability. And even in left field, it was just very subpar defense. And I don't want to see him regress in the field, and I don't want to see him just get put out in left field or right field just because you need his bat in the lineup. Or maybe have him in a DH spot, which I don't think they will ever do that. But I think if they could really get into his defensive ability and get maximum ability out of him defensively, I think that he will turn into an everyday player and he will be on a fairly large contract here in a few years. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you guys think. I think these guys should all stay on the roster. I've just seen a lot of stuff circulating of maybe not resign, maybe resign. But I know Neander has came out and said that they kept him on the roster. He's publicly came out and said they're on the roster past the trade deadline. That usually means that it's a good thing for your team. That's what he came out and said. That's usually they're in a good spot for what we believe that they can do and their abilities. So I think Neander's behind him. I think it's just going to come down to a salary cap issue. Not that the Rays are ever over salary cap. I mean more of the organization's salary cap with how much they can spend on players and how much they give Neander to work with. But I think that especially with these new owners, especially talking about spending more money, I think that it's going to be an easy set and done club option pickup for both Fairbanks and Lau. And I think that Neander kind of knows, especially on the Mangum side, that he is very cheap and that's a guy who you can keep around to be able to pay Lau and Fairbanks these contracts. Because Lau and Fairbanks would be the second and third highest paid players on the team, right behind Yandy. But Yandy's at 12 million. Which you think about it, the highest paid player on a Major League Baseball team is getting paid $12 million a year. That's absurd. When you see Yandy's a perennial all star. That guy's going to hit 300 every single year. He had a great year this year. He started out pretty slow, but he hit his track from game 30 to 162. That guy was unbelievable. And you're only paying him $12 million a year. And I get seeing some of these things where it's like you have to let Snell walk. He's on a 5-year, $55 million deal, or 5 years, 50, whatever it was at the time. You got to trade him away to get good value out of that before you can't physically pay him anymore, which I get it. I understand. We did the same with Glass now as well. You got to get rid of him. I mean, we got Pepio in return on that trade. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, especially when you would have got zero out of Glass now once he hit free agency there. I just believe in everything Neander does. That guy has not missed on a trade other than Paredes for Morel. I think that one, who knows? Morel could have a career year this year, and I'm going to eat my words on this one, but I think that's the worst trade he's made so far. The Joe Ryan trade hurts too, but just specifically for getting rid of Paredes for Morel, who just has not done anything. In return, Paredes hasn't been the best player either. And you have Junior playing third now, where Paredes usually played, and it gave him that opportunity to excel in his rookie year last year. But I think just from a return standpoint, like 1 of 1 per Paredes for Morel was just not good. Just from the position player standpoint, I know you got BG in there too, he was pretty good as well this season. But I'm just curious to see what Neander can do. I know the ownership's giving him full reins. They're not stopping him. He can do whatever the heck he wants. So I think he's going to be able to do well this year, and I think he's going to build a roster come opening day that's going to compete in the AL East like they do every year. And I'm just curious to see what he does with the money and how much money that he's willing to spend and how much money they allow him to spend. Anyways, that was today's episode. You guys have a good one. Let me know what you guys think about any of these moves or anything like that. Have a good one.